Episode 331, Figma and Claude come together.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI 6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
The gap between building something and designing something has narrowed. Figma and Anthropic connected two tools that have never before spoken to each other, and the result removes a step from code to creative. Hello, and you're very welcome back to AI 6, the podcast that is on a mission to upskill 500,000 of you in AI in just 6 minutes a day. So if, like me, you brief websites, campaigns, or digital products, this new integration between Figma and Claude will shorten the gap between what you ask for and what you get back. The back and forth between a comms brief and a finished design has always involved a lot of interpretation. But this new move removes a whole layer of it. You can now see a working interface earlier in the process, give feedback on something real, and get changes made faster. For teams producing content at scale, the iteration cycle just got shorter, and the brief actually now becomes the file. So there were two big announcements 3 weeks apart. In January, Figma put Claude inside FigJam, so teams can turn a prompt, a PDF, or a screenshot into an editable diagram on the canvas. In February, they then went further. A developer builds an interface in Claude code, types, send this to Figma, and the designer gets a working file and not a screenshot. And it goes both ways. Design changes made in Figma can go back into Claude code for further development. Anthropic, the company that owns Claude, also released a UI kit so other teams can build their own Claude-powered tools inside Figma. It gives developers a standard set of design components to work from, which means less setup and faster builds. Figma went through their IPO in July of last year at a valuation of almost €70 billion. And so these integrations are a clear signal about where it's going to position itself. And of course, leveraging the opportunity that AI is giving them. Here's G and Alex from Figma explaining the integration.
The decisions that you make in code often are also ultimately very single file. They have to happen in a certain order, and it kind of limits your ability to explore horizontally and think about the big picture.
And so for us, the canvas is key to a lot of our workflow. It's easier to engage as a team. You can see the differences side by side immediately, and exploration just feels cheaper and more carefree.
Today, we're releasing Claude Code to Figma, a new feature in the Figma MCP server. You can capture any running UI state in your browser and paste those as editable Figma frames right on the canvas.
I have said for years that AI is communications, not coding. And what this integration demonstrates is that the line between the two was always sort of artificial. The handoff between code and design was never a technical problem. It was a collaboration and a communications problem. And this addresses it directly. Now, there's one flag that comes up. When you generate a diagram or a user interface in seconds, there's a temptation to skip the real creative thinking part. Speed is only an advantage if the brief behind it is sound and clear. The guardrails here are not technical, they are communications ones. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organization. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI 6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.